Hey Calgary, Jenna Drummond here with Royal LePage Benchmark. Today I've got Courtney Jackson here with me. We're going to do a short little overview on how to purchase your first home, some steps on how to do that. So Courtney, do you want to just start off by introducing yourself and then we'll get right into it?
Sure. Hi Calgary, I'm Courtney Jackson. I work here with Mortgage Connection as a mortgage broker. And this is just kind of a conversation to try and supplement for our first-time homebuyer seminar that we had set up for the end of April that was at Fiasco Gelato and sadly had to be postponed due to COVID-19. We understand that our city is going through a very tough time here, and although we appreciate and respect the severity of the virus, we wanted to maybe give you guys something else to think about or to talk about, just because I know that all that is on all of our minds is COVID-19 and how that's affecting our daily lives. So let's just talk about something else for a bit.
Cool. Let's dive right into it. So we're going to start with the basics of how to purchase a home in Calgary. So Courtney, what would be the first thing for someone to do or look into when they want to purchase a home?
The first thing, and obviously in this current environment, the very most important is actually figuring out if you can purchase, and if so, what you are limited to or what that budget is going to look like. So at that point, just reach out to your mortgage broker or your bank and figure out exactly, based on your current income, your current debt load, all of that, what those numbers are going to look like, and have your credit checked and get an actual physical pre-approval to show your realtor, knowing that you're actually in a position to move forward on something. From there, that's when you would reach out to your realtor and get house hunting.
So yeah, once you've sort of figured out your budget of what you can afford, then we can look into different property types and location. So different property types, depending on what you can afford, that could be an apartment or a townhouse or a single family home. And once we've sort of figured out that price range and the location of where you'd like to live, then we'll start looking at your wants and your needs for the property as well. So how many bedrooms do you need? Do you need a parking space? Do you have pets? If you're going to live in a condo, we need to make sure that pets can be approved. And once we've figured out all the criteria for your new home, we'll set you up on an automatic search. And this search will notify you every time a property goes on the market, or if there's a price change, or if something's sold, so that you're in the know before even Realtor.ca is. Once you've found some properties that you like the look of online, we'll take a look either in person, or during this time we could even do some virtual showings. And then once you found the perfect home for you, then we'll be ready to write an offer. So again, we would go a lot more into depth with what the offer looks like and how that works. But for this, we're just going to go very surface level. So once we've got an offer in place, the sellers have accepted our offer, we'll have a deposit check that we'll need to submit to the sellers. And then from there, we've got a few conditions that we'll want to meet before we agree to purchase the home. So these are things like financing, a home inspection, and a condo document review if you're purchasing a condominium. So once we're sort of navigating through all those things, one of the things is for sure is financing. So Courtney, what does that look like? How do the clients finalize financing?
Okay, so during that period, that's typically when I get all of the paperwork, the real meat and potatoes of the deal. But in this current environment, I'm actually getting a lot of that information up front, just because for pre-approval, it's really important that I do see some of that in order to give the buyer more confidence in writing an offer. So if there is other documents that I need at that time, that's when I collect those. Everything is then submitted to the bank for final approval. I would get all the property information, and if I need an appraisal, then I would order it at that point in time. And once everything has been reviewed and signed off on by the bank, that is when I would send an email out to my clients and to their realtor to then say that they're in a position to waive their conditions. So once they've actually waived, Jenna, what would what is left for them to do then briefly before they actually move in?
Yeah, so once we've waived conditions, we're happy with everything, we've agreed to purchase the property 100%, the clients will need to reach out to a real estate lawyer that they want to work with and set up an appointment with them to finalize all the documentation and make sure that the funds are going to be transferred. So once they have the meeting in place with the lawyer, they'll need to secure a home insurance for the date that they're going to be moving into the property. And we'll do a walkthrough 24 hours prior to possession to make sure it's in the same condition, or at least mostly similar condition as to when they wrote the offer. And the day of possession is really, really simple. The lawyer will confirm that funds have been transferred from the buyer's lawyer to the seller's lawyer. And once that happens, keys are released and you own your new home. You get to move in. So yeah.
Well, this has been very simplistic, and when we do host our next first-time home buyer, we've hosted a few before. It's going to be at Fiasco Gelato, and we will get much more into the nitty-gritty of each of these steps. But we just wanted to do something simple here, just to provide you guys a little bit of a breakdown of how it works. And I hope you're excited to learn more and that you would attend our first-time homebuyer seminar. So thank you.
And if you have any questions, I'll attach Courtney's contact information and my contact information below. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And in the meantime, stay safe and stay healthy.
Bye, Calgary.